When it comes to buying Pokemon cards, it can get a bit tricky, especially when you're trying to time the bottom to scoop up some of these incredible alt arts for a cheap price. So when is the best time to buy singles and sealed product? Luckily for you, in today's video, I put together some tips on when I personally buy in today's climate. And if you stay to the end of the video, I have one bonus tip for you. So with that all being said, let's get into today's video. As of recent, we've seen Pokemon 151 get announced that they are having reprints in May. But what makes this situation so unique? It's not every day that Pokemon Japan just comes out and announces reprints. Sure, they have reprints every year to some extent, but it just feels like Pokemon Japan and Pokemon in America in English are trying to hold their word of printing to demand. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I love. We've already seen a slight pullback when it comes to the price of Pokemon 151, which is extremely normal when news like this comes out. So with all of this crazy news, when is the right time to buy, let's say, a booster box of Pokemon 151? I say to just wait a little bit longer until the reprints are officially out and you hear Pokemon YouTubers like myself and let's say Danny Phantom talk about the reprints being officially here and how they affect the market, etc. So I really advise you guys to hit that like and follow button so that you get keep up to date with news like this. Right now, card stores are trying to unload some of those expensive 151 booster boxes. I see them right now going for around the 150 mark, but I firmly believe that this set will be in the $100 range before we know it. So patience is a virtue when it comes to this set. I even said in our last podcast, I'm gonna leave the link right around here, that I wasn't expecting these reprints to come so quickly, and boy was I wrong. It's just tough to really say when we're going to get reprints or when they're coming, especially when it comes to specialty sets like Pokemon 151 and Shiny Treasures EX, because it does seem like Pokemon loves to reprint these things into the ground as of late. And if you're an investor and you went all in on Pokemon 151 in previous months, man, I'm feeling for you guys because this is going to completely nuke your guys' investment. But if you didn't get to get in at a good price, this is now your time. So if I'm a Pokemon 151 investor, I would try to sell off a little bit of my stock at that 150 mark. You know, the ranges come down and then buy in again at that $100 mark. This just goes to show you Pokemon investors on why you guys should not go all in on one set. And this is just another great opportunity of buying the bottom and to get in at a great price. Also, if you're a collector and just want to rip open some packs and booster boxes, this is the perfect time. Just wait a little bit longer until these booster boxes get to the, $100, 120 mark. I believe that they are going to get there, and then have your fun. I had my speculations that this set was way inflated at that $200 mark. Some people were even selling this set for 220 bucks, which is just like this mind blowing because I'm not a huge fan of this set. I think it's a decent set. Just didn't think that it was worth that $200 price mark. But if I'm wrong, I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section down below. It's just crazy to see these sets just get reprinted over and over. Like Shiny Treasures EX just continues to fall, and now we have Pokemon 151 is just gonna be a way more affordable set. It's awesome as a collector to be able to buy all these Japanese booster boxes at such a low price. I am so stoked. And I know the question I had was, when is the right time to buy? And my number one rule of thumb is to buy around cost. It's as easy and simple as that. So in my research, I was seeing that cost of booster boxes in Japan are around the $35 mark. And in English, cost is $85 to $90, or maybe $95 with the new MSRP. But this is a great range to buy. Is there going to be some cases where you're gonna spend $20, $30 over market? Yeah, probably, but every situation is different. But around that mark is just a great area to buy. So let's now get into when to buy singles. Now for this topic, it can get a little hairy pretty quick. And for 95% of the time, it is a bad idea to purchase these cards at launch. At launch, they're crazy high. And yes, there is the occasional cards that were really cheap at launch, like the Machamp from Astral Radiance and the Magikarp, but like I said, 9 out of 10 times it is a good time to just wait a few weeks until buying these singles. If you don't believe me, just go look at your favorite alternate art in any era and see what they were at release and then a month later. And I do understand that there is a market where people want to buy the first card and grade it to have it flipped for profit, like if that's you and that's your business, by all means, that's awesome. But for most collectors, just wait a little bit. For myself, I'm just a casual collector and I like to scoop up these cards, you know, 2-3 months after the set's release. And in modern Pokemon times, that's pretty much like a whole new set is released. So if you're in the category like myself, just wait until the next set comes and there's a new shiny card that everyone's eyeing and obsessing over, and then that's when you come in and you buy those singles for a ridiculously cheap amount. You gotta remember, guys, that there's always going to be a newer and shinier card that you're gonna want and you're gonna obsess over. And when it comes to buying alternate arts, I like to wait a full year until all that hype has come down. The perfect example is the Lugia from Silver Tempest. This thing has hit rock bottom as of late. But if I would have bought that thing when Silver Tempest first came out, I would have been out at least $100. I know some people in the comments are going to be like, well, you might miss out on a Latios and Latias GX, or you might miss out on an Umbreon at the $200 mark. Sure, there's outlier scenarios, but for 99% of these cards, they will fall. And they will be super affordable. And if you're a nerd like myself, just keep a small spreadsheet of all the cards that you want. And let's say like recent, I've kept an eye on the Dragonite from Evolving Skies. I want to pay around the $90 mark. And the moment that comes down to the $90 mark, I'm gonna scoop it up. I'm not paying no $140 for that card. I like to set a price, and if it comes in that range, cool, I go out and buy it. You can also hit buy alerts on eBay so that you can get the best deals on the singles that you want. I think my favorite part about the Scarlet and Violet era is that a lot of these singles are around that $20 mark, which is just absolutely insane. Because a lot of the special illustration rares and SARs, they're alternate arts. Like if these came out in the Sword and Shield era, they'd be big $100 cards, $50, $75 cards. So the fact that there's so many of them and they're so cheap is just amazing. And also if they're around the $20 mark, they just scoop them up. Like there's no real reason to be saving, you know, $1, $2. I know some people, when it comes to their collections, they like super penny pinch, but there's times where you're gonna pay $5 over market. You go to a card shop, but they have it marked up for $3 more. It is what it is. I'm not that type of collector, but if you are, I completely understand. This whole video is more targeted towards like the higher echelon cards, like I said, the $75 mark and up. A quick side bonus tip that I do when I really want a card in English is that I just go look at the prices in other languages. I know some of you guys absolutely hate collecting Pokemon cards in other languages and you're just a sole English collector, but if you really want that card and it's completely out of your budget, then just enjoy the art for what it is in a different language. As of recent, one of my biggest pickups was the Magikarp card from Paldea Evolved. That thing is just continuously climbing, and I think it's like above the $70 mark. I scooped this up in Japanese for 20 bucks. I mean, it's the same card, it's got the silver borders, it looks great, and I just wanted the art. I definitely advise you guys to just double check eBay for additional languages, and sometimes you might be surprised. Some of your favorite alternate arts or your favorite full art trainers might be $100, $200 even cheaper. There always is cheaper alternatives out there, so keep an eye out. So if you made it to the end of this video, congratulations. I promised you guys a bonus tip, and here it is. The bonus tip is, there really is no right time to buy anything, sealed or singles. I know that kind of goes back on everything that I just stated, but let me explain. I've always said that if you really want the card, then just buy the card. There's going to be situations where all of your buying discipline is just going to completely go out the window and you're going to make a mistake, or you're going to buy a card and it's going to become a Latias and Latias card and become crazy valuable. And believe me, I've taken my fair shares of L's buying cards at an all-time high, and looking back, I could have saved, you know, 25, 50 bucks, but I enjoy the card so much and I know that I'm not going to sell the card. So I myself am a Pokemon card collector. Yes, I do a little bit of investing here inside. I like to keep a few booster boxes to flip, but my heart and my soul is in collecting. If I want the card, I do a quick little eBay check and see what the last sold is, and then I make my decision right there if I'm at a card shop or a card show to purchase those cards. Remember that it's always a great idea to just step back from a situation, like if you're at a card show, you really want that card, you just got there, but you know it's a little bit overpriced. Take a step back, walk around the building, see if you really want that card. It goes the same way with new sets and new sealed booster boxes and stuff like that. just let the dust settle, let the hype come down, and then realize if you actually want to collect that piece. Because that tip right there will save you guys thousands of dollars in your Pokemon collecting journey. Especially with social media, it can be really easy to fall into that buying loop of just everyone's ripping the newest set, Temporal Forces or Paradox or whatever it is, whatever the newest set is. And you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to go to Target. I need to buy 10 ETBs and I need to be involved in this. It's because you've seen, oh my gosh, this is the newest card. I want to post that card. I want the newest card. I want. If you learned anything from today's video, I hope that you take away that patience is a virtue when it comes to buying Pokemon cards. So when is the right time to buy Pokemon cards? The choice is up to you. Let me know if you guys have any tips for me. Were some of the tips on today's list helpful? Let me know anything in the comment section down below. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. Peace.